Though he hasn't been in a prominent role in quite some time, today we're going to discuss one of my favorite actors, Brendan Fraser. Hey, what's up you guys? Imperial Nick here for another video. Today is Man Crush Monday, where we're going to go over one of my favorite male actors and discuss 5 of their favorite movies, as well as a few honorable mentions. And today we're talking about Brendan Fraser. Yes, that Brendan Fraser. And that Brendan Fraser. And that Brendan Fraser. So again, if you'll bear with me and my notebook, as I need the little plotty points that I put down so that these videos aren't quite as chaotic as some of our earlier ones, I'll go ahead and get started. So, number 5 on my list of favorite Brendan Fraser movies, and what cements him as one of my favorite actors, is Airheads. Now, Airheads came out in 1994. It starred Adam Sandler, Steve Buscemi, and Brendan Fraser. And the entire plot was about a bunch of loser rockers who took over a radio station with water guns in order to get their demo played on the radio. It has all those cliche 90s gags in it. Adam Sandler plays the dumbest of the rockers, Steve Buscemi plays the leader of the rockers, and Brendan Fraser is kind of in the middle. Their band name is dumb, as they call themselves the Lone Rangers, and it is brought up and made fun of several times throughout the entirety of the movie. And it has that old-fashioned 90s great ending. So number 4 on this one is a little bit on the weirder side. I like weirder movies. This one's got Whoopi Goldberg in it, and that is Monkeybone. Now, Monkeybone came out in 2001, and Brendan Fraser plays this crazy cartoonist who has sleep issues and goes into a coma. Now, while in the coma, he meets his latest creation, the one that's going to get the animated series Monkeybone. It's kind of a mix of animation and live action, not the BS Looney Tunes back in action. We will not be discussing that movie any further because that movie was stupid. I hope Space Jam 2 isn't as bad as Looney Tunes back in action. But I digress. Monkeybone is absolutely hysterical. It came out in 2001, and it is kind of a goofy early 2000s comedy movie that you would expect to see. So the plot points are pretty typical. It's got that dirty humor, and you've got Monkeybone taking over Brendan Fraser's body and that good old-fashioned aruga as he jumps on the bed. It is absolutely a hysterical movie, one that I would recommend seeing if you haven't already. Just get prepared for that crude early 2000s humor. Number 3 is still a comedy. It came out in 1999, and it is called Blast from the Past. Now, Blast from the Past, Brendan plays a character who was born and raised inside of his parents' fallout shelter because they thought the Cold War had heated up and went in there. He is sent to the surface in order to gather supplies for their bunker as the batteries have started to replenish some of the supplies his father, Christopher Walken, had stocked up so long ago as they begin to diminish. Again, this is a 1999 movie, so you got some of that 90s crude humor. If you're okay with that and you like funny things, definitely jump into there. The cast is a lot of fun, and it's one of my favorite comedy movies. Now, you might be seeing a pattern here. Most of Brendan Fraser's movies are comedies. And number 2 on the list is no exception, and that is Bedazzled. In Bedazzled, Brendan Fraser plays a guy who gets 5 wishes from the devil. The devil played by Elizabeth Hurley, which is absolutely hysterical. Every one of those wishes that he makes has a monkey bone effect to it, or a monkey paw effect to it, where it goes just right, but he's not detailed enough, and it kinda goes wrong. In one of those wishes, he wishes that he is an athlete, so he can win the girl that he thinks he loves. And in doing so, it turns out that his member is pretty small. such shenanigans and gags like that. Something you would see in a movie that came out in the year 2000. Again, if you like that crude humor from that era and you're not offended by it, probably one of the funnier movies on the list. I do like that they used a female devil, and I think she does probably one of the best jobs playing the devil out of a lot of actors. I think she was probably only eclipsed by the guy who played the devil in Constantine with Keanu Reeves. Now that was an amazing portrayal of the devil. We're going to talk about Constantine in another video, but right now let's talk about the honorable mentions before we jump into number one. My first honorable mention is Encino Man with Pauly Shore. Basically, Brendan Fraser's a caveman who melts out of ice and goes to high school. Early 90s humor. The second one is George of the Jungle. It's like a funny Tarzan, except better. It's absolutely funnier. He ends up in San Francisco, like Tarzan goes to the city. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's a ridiculous concept, but I like it. I thought it was funny. I still think it's funny. And the last one is Dudley Do Right. Again, he plays Dudley Do Right, the Canadian Mountie who can't do anything right. Dudley Do Right is kind of a goofy movie. You gotta be in the mood for that kind of goofy movie kind of thing in order to really enjoy Dudley Do Right. But if you're in that kind of mood, I definitely recommend Dudley Do Right. Let's jump into number one. So as you can see from the GIF I just shared, number one is the Mummy trilogy. There is an order to these of which one is better than which, and the first one is the best, the second one is second best, and the third one, it's okay. They got rid of Evie. They replaced the actress who played Evie in the third one, which is Tomb of the Dragon Empire, which is Rachel Weisz. She is a British actor. And her and Brendan Fraser had the perfect chemistry for the epic Mummy trilogy. Well, there was two of them, because again, they replaced her in the third one. She didn't want to be in the third one, or something came up. I don't know the details behind it, but they replaced her, and it was really disappointing who they chose to pick her. She took the role a little more seriously than Rachel did. And because of that, some of the dynamic was thrown off. Other than that, all the main actors pretty much keep reappearing, though Benny dies in the first one. Benny. If you haven't seen the Mummy trilogy, the first one, Rich O'Connor, played by Brendan Fraser, is bleeding Evie and her expedition against the Americans, led by Benny, his former French Foreign Legion buddy. I wouldn't call him a buddy, but okay. To the City of the Dead in order to find the treasure that is there, and they accidentally wake up a mummy. And then they have to go back, airplane hijinks happen. It's a lot of fun. In the second one, someone else has resurrected the mummy, and there's some cool flashbacks, leading to the realization that Brendan Fraser and Evie are like reincarnations, and he is there to protect her. And there's an airship in that one as well, as they try to fight the Scorpion King, played by The Rock. Not the Scorpion King movie, but it is the same animation used, basically, and it's not very good, but it's a fun movie. There are killer pygmy monkeys. Those killer pygmy monkeys kind of remind me of Monkeybone. Monkeybone's a funny movie. In the third one, Rich O'Connor and Evie, now played by a different actress, go to Hong Kong, where they discover that their son has dropped out of school to try and find the Dragon Emperor, and his terracotta statues, hijinks ensure they find Shangri-La. There are abominable snowmen in this movie. More airplane hijinks, because it is not a mummy movie if there's not some sort of airship or airplane hijinks. And then they have to fight Jet Li, which was actually pretty cool. I think that movie would have been a lot better if the original Evie was in it. I can get past the Abominable Snowman because I thought that was cool, and I thought it was funny, and I was a kid, and I rewatched it recently, and I still enjoyed it. The CGI in the second one isn't great, and the CGI in the first one wasn't all that great. They don't hold up the test of timing. I mean, they came out in 1999, 2004, and 2008, respectively, so we can't really expect all of that to hold up. The rivalry between Rick and his son in Dragon Emperor is actually pretty good, and it is actually kind of amusing, and I enjoyed it, and I would have liked to seen a fourth one that didn't have Tom Cruise in it. Or I guess that was a reset. Should have just got Brendan Fraser to play it again. Though Brendan Fraser's career has been on the rocks, I don't remember a good movie coming out in recent memory with him in it. Though I haven't seen the last 3 that he was in, I might have to check those out. This is Imperial Nick with your Man Crush Monday. I'll produce one of these videos going over one of my favorite actors once a month. Next week I'll have Lady Crush Monday, where we're going to talk about one of my favorite actresses and 5 of her movies that make her truly stand out. Again, Brendan Fraser, 4 comedies and an action adventure. Well, 3 action adventures, but it counts as 1 because it's 1 series and they're all the same characters, except for Evie. Cannot believe they cut out Evie. So there you guys have it, my Man Crush Monday, Brendan Fraser. I hope you guys have a wonderful week. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the bell notification so you know right when we upload. We're still figuring out all the kinks in our schedule, but I'm sure that we will get them figured out. So I will catch you all on the flip side. Bye!